Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you back because guess what we are going to be doing today? I know you've read the headline, you probably know. I'm not very good at this because I haven't done it before. This is my very first Q&A video, so it would be amazing, first of all, if you would feedback on it because I'm a rookie when it comes to Q&A videos. And secondly, well, not secondly, I should have said this first. Thank you to all those who've sent me questions and to all those who've said, yes, we want a Q&A video. Why not? So here we are. I've got your questions in my hand and I'm going to answer a few of these. So stay tuned. Let's start with Riley who's asked me something that I've been asked by several of you via email or face-to-face or on Facebook and all that. How did you get your knowledge about astrology? Did you take a course or read a lot of books? Well, let me get into detail on that. So first of all, I think I've always had a proclivity towards astrology and everything that's a little bit occult and mysteries and all that. But I actually got really into astrology when I met this fantastic astrologer when I was back home in Romania in Bucharest, and her name is Laura. Hi! And she's been an astrologer for 20 years, a practicing astrologer, and I basically learned the foundation from her. So we spent hours for like 2.5 years almost every single weekday, and she was literally tutoring me and explaining things to me, and I got like the best teacher, and I got this, not a crash course because a crash course is really short, I got a lot of in-depth knowledge from her. So she laid out the foundations of astrology for me. And obviously, there's only so much you can learn at school or from a teacher or by taking a course. A lot of it after that was self-study. Loads of books. As you can see, I've got a few on my table. So Sue Tompkins is one of my favorite, especially if you're starting out and if you want a lot of information, if you need a lot of information. And also, if you want to take your astrology knowledge to the next level, again, she is super, super good. And I've also got this other book here, which I'm going to show to you. This is a bit random, but it's something that I've been quite interested in. Middle-Age Crisis. So I've got here a book written by Barbara Hand Clow, Astrology and the Rising of Kundalini, the Transformative Power of Saturn, Chiron, and Uranus. So for those of you who don't know, Uranus is directly linked to the so-called middle-age crisis. Chiron has a say in it as well, and Saturn has got a say in all things difficult in our lives, so Saturn could not miss the party. But yeah. So that is, my friends, how I learned astrology. Another question from Laura Eller. Should I rather listen to what my sun sign says about what I'm like in a relationship or to my Venus sign? Well, let me tell you this, Laura. To both. The answer is to both. If we're talking about a romantic relationship, obviously, the first one to look at is your Venus sign, because your Venus sign rules the way you love, the way you give and receive affection, the way you give and receive a romance and pleasure, and what gives you pleasure and what makes you happy. And that's why you should look at your Venus sign to start with. But if we're not talking about a purely romantic relationship, if we're talking about relationships in general, because life is not at all about love. I know that love conquers all, but we are more than who we love and what we love. First of all, look at your sun sign to tell you basically what you want from life. And in order to find someone who you're compatible with, you obviously need to be on the same level, more or less, and have more or less the same expectations from life and more or less similar dreams. Or obviously you don't have to have the same dreams, what am I talking about here, but basically have the same approach to life. Or if you don't have the same approach to life, at least be supportive of the other's approach. So when it comes to relationships, obviously Venus is super important in love, but when it comes to any kind of relationships whatsoever, your sun sign is incredibly important. Why is that? Because our sun rules our ego, and if someone messes with our ego, then we take it personally and we hate them, and we're gonna say, oh, I'm so incompatible and I can't stand that person. So that is coming from the sun. So the answer, Laura, is both. You can't have one without the other. Maya sent me the following question. I feel like my signs conflict with one another. Could you clarify and help me better understand? I'm a Taurus sun, a Cancer moon, and a rising Leo. So I'm not going to get into detail on the actual placements, Maya. I do understand why you say that your signs might conflict with each other, because you've got your sun in an earth sign, you've got your moon in a water sign, and then you've got your rising sign in fire. Guys, whenever someone starts getting into astrology and starts reading more and more, everyone realizes that there's more to astrology than just sun signs, and they start feeling conflicted. But actually, if you come to think about it, we are not a person. We are not like, we don't live in one dimension. We are multi-dimensional people. We act differently, and we are, so to speak, different persons when it comes to the way others perceive us, the way we think about ourselves, and the way we feel and react to things. So, for instance, for Maya here, she's a Taurus sun, so in her head, she would ideally like to be perceived as a Taurus. So, hardworking, reliable, someone who you can always count on, very down to earth, a pragmatic person. However, she is perceived by others, so the first impression that she makes on people is that of a Leo. So Maya, people see you as a very exuberant, glamorous, life of the party type, and that's not necessarily the way you would like them to see you. It's the first impression that you make on them. And then you've got your Cancer moon, which has got nothing in common with your sun and your rising sign. Your Cancer moon needs a lot of nurturing. It's very sensitive, obviously, because the moon rules emotions, but Cancer is more sensitive than any other sign except for Pisces. And you need a lot of love and security and protection in your life, and maybe you probably need more of this than you would rationally acknowledge, because that's the thing about emotions, that they mostly live in our subconscious and we cannot acknowledge them, and we just feel what we feel and need what we need, and that's who we are. But again, don't feel like this is something that only happens to you, Maya. We all have different, like I said, sides to us. So myself, for instance, I'm an Aquarius sun, but I have a Cancer rising sign and a Capricorn moon. Ha! So I don't have the fire, but I have 3 elements defining me in different ways. So there you go. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a matter of accepting who you are and embracing who you are. And once you do that, everything's gonna be much easier. Yay! I got a question from DBTDBK. I don't know if I got that correctly. So, first of all, it doesn't start with a question. They say the following. Saturn totally devastated my job, i.e. career, money, ambitions. That happened 8 years ago. Is there any way to overcome Saturn's bad influence? So, first of all, I'm really sorry to hear that. I assume you're talking about a Saturn. No, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. It can either be like a Saturn return or a Saturn transit. How can you overcome Saturn's bad influence? Well, you have to learn the lesson that Saturn was trying to teach you. So if it devastated your career, money, and ambitions, maybe Saturn was trying to teach you a lesson regarding material possessions, regarding social status, regarding our position in the world. Maybe Saturn was trying to teach you that all these things, we obviously need them and we obviously work for them for most of our lives, but there's more to life than that. And Saturn only pushes buttons and only starts crisis when it knows that you have the internal resources to overcome the obstacles. So if you're still reeling after 8 years, maybe it's time to look into yourself. And I know that that's obviously not easy and it's incredibly difficult, and we're talking about changing your life completely, but it's worth looking into yourself and tapping into the potential that you have not used beforehand and starting afresh and starting new. And maybe, who knows, maybe your career was not the best thing that ever happened to you. Maybe you were not in the right place. Maybe you placed too much emphasis on money and material possessions, and maybe you were only ambitious when it came to material things and things that would satisfy a Capricorn or an Earth sign. And maybe you have to place more emphasis on the spiritual side of things, on your spiritual life, and you might be surprised how much happiness you can draw out of it. So, to sum up, how can you overcome Saturn's bad influence? Learn the lesson that Saturn is trying to teach you. Lucy Lou, she's asking me, I am a Cancer sun and my sun trines with Pluto. What does that mean for me? Well, any planet that is aspecting one's sun, any planet that aspects your sun gives you powerful qualities from that planet. So if your sun is positively, or it can be in any aspect to your sun, but if Pluto is aspecting your sun, you are as much a Scorpio as you are a Cancer. So very emotional, very intense, very good at reading people, very interested in how people think and how people work and the motives behind it. Very good investigator, very good researcher. And Pluto always gives a magnetic quality to the person whose sun it touches. So you can literally feel that people are attracted to you like flies, because you exude this magnetism and you think of yourself as a cobra hypnotizing its victims. I don't know, that's maybe too dramatic, but not too dramatic for Pluto. So you are magnetic. That's what I'm saying. Very, very, very insightful and a very good reader of people in general. You understand their motives. You understand how people's minds work. Well done, you. Rosalind Jones. I can't even understand my own handwriting. Sorry about that, guys. Rosalind Jones is asking, I have got my North Node in Pisces. Can you recommend any careers for North Node in Pisces? I might have slightly rewritten that. So careers for North Node in Pisces. So first of all, your North Node does give you an indication about your mission. Well, it gives a clear indication about your mission in life, but your mission in life does not necessarily have something to do with your career. Ta-da! So if you're interested in careers, that obviously says something about you. So you need to look at your midheaven because that gives an even clearer indication about your career. The North Node gives you indications about your path in life and the lessons that you need to learn in this life. However, what this means, North Node in Pisces, means that you are naturally very pragmatic and organized because guess what? You've got your South Node in Virgo, so you've learned your Virgo lessons in previous lives. In this lifetime, you need to embrace your emotions and your spiritual calling and detach yourself from lists. Yes, a very Virgo thing. I'm thinking with the North Node in Pisces, you can do anything creative and you are very likely to feel fulfilled if you do it. So I'm thinking television, cinematography, because these are both ruled by Neptune and Pisces, but it can be any sort of artistic field. Anything, and you're gonna feel fulfilled. So, but don't forget to look at your midheaven. Look at the sign your midheaven is in. Do Virgo and Libra make a good match? This is what Jovi Elf is asking. Well, I'm actually gonna start working on a series about compatibility. I have to say that at a glance, Virgo and Libra wouldn't necessarily make that good a match, but I'm not gonna say no, it's not gonna work. It may work. Both of you guys, both Virgo and Libras, are diplomatic. However, Virgo is known for being very critical about things and about people, whereas Libra is known for doing everything that it takes in order to maintain peace and harmony and not to upset others. So Virgo might upset Libra because they're being too nitpicky, and Libra might feel very frustrated because they're never saying, oh, you've done that, oh, that's wrong, or they're never pointing out what they don't like if they're in a relationship with a Virgo. So it can become very frustrating for you guys. FYI. And last but not least, Radha Verma is asking about the North Node in Aries in the 11th house. What does this mean? So first of all, please watch my North Node in Aries video because I've done a whole video on North Nodes. Your North Node rules your destiny and your mission in this lifetime and the lessons that you need to learn. If it's in the 11th house, it has something to do with helping the wider... Oh my god, I am gonna destroy my lamp here. If it's in the 11th house, it has something to do with helping the wider community and working towards achieving a general a community goal or dream, or helping out masses of people, because the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius wants to help masses, and Aquarius is a humanitarian. So this North Node has definitely got something to do with you focusing on your humanitarian streak and on what you can give to the world and how you can make the world a better place in the most literal sense. Yeah. Guys, let me know how you've liked this video. If you like Q&A videos, I'm gonna do these more often because you do send me quite a bit of questions. Most of them, obviously, I cannot go into too much detail, but if you're interested in finding out more on a certain topic, I also do birth chart readings, so drop me a line because I've left my email address in the description down below. And I really hope you enjoy this and that it wasn't too boring. Was it boring? I hope not. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!